What's going on, you guys? Welcome back to the channel. Aubrey is not going to be in the first part of this video, but to fill in her place is this little dude right here, Mr. Nico. So we're going to go out on a drive today, and we're going to see how much money you are actually going to be saving if you were to do a lot of your own maintenance on your own car sharing vehicles, like on Turo, Getaround, or any other platform. So the first thing that I like to talk about whenever you think about maintenance for your vehicle is getting your oil changed. Every car needs oil no matter what, and you have to get it changed periodically. Some vehicles 3,000 miles, some vehicles 5,000 miles, and even some higher end vehicles 10,000 or 12,000 miles per oil change. It has to be done. Technically, if you don't do it, your engine could blow up and you have a bigger problem on your hand. So the first thing a lot of people like to do is they like to go to their local oil change shop. Oil change specialty shops are great. They're fast, they're convenient, but the downside is that they end up being a little more expensive than you think. I actually had my own experience with this in our 4Runner. When we first moved in to our house, I didn't have the tools to work on the vehicle. I was a little lazy and I had a coupon. And I was like, you know what? If I have a coupon, I'm gonna treat myself. Let's go get this oil changed. And boy, did I learn the hard way. I overspent way too much money. Even Nico is sad about it. So with oil changes in mind, I'm driving Aubrey's 1997 Toyota 4Runner, and it has 319,000 miles. Now, we're going to use this vehicle as the demonstration vehicle as to how much oil change prices might cost on a vehicle that needs a high mileage full synthetic oil change. Now, with a filter, which the filters are relatively cheap, and it needs about 6 quarts of oil, this is pretty average when it comes to most vehicles that have maybe 75,000 or more miles and require an oil change. The difference between this oil change price and a regular oil change price is maybe about $10 to $15 depending on which oil brand you go with. So the first stop we're going to demonstrate this at is going to be a local oil change place right down the road from my house, and we're going to see how much it would be to have the oil change on this vehicle. How you doing, my man? I want to see about... All right, buddy. Sorry. He's good. He's being a whiny baby. Just want to see how much it'd be for a high mileage full synthetic oil change.
Let me check to see if we got hot mileage.
Okay. How much? 99? Okay, gotcha. So it's 6 quarts of oil. Is that one extra? Okay, so the first place, they're gonna charge $99 starting for a high mileage full synthetic oil change. Now, that does include filter and everything, but this car takes 6 quarts of oil, so one additional quart, he said it'd be right about $115 with tax and everything out the door. That's pretty pricey for an oil change, considering that you could probably do it at home for significantly cheaper. Just so we know we're not getting ripped off, we're gonna go to one extra place down the road and see about how much it's gonna be. Now, this is actually just a local Walmart that I'm gonna be going to, and we're gonna see how much it's gonna be just to get it done at Walmart. Sorry, Nico, you can't come inside with me, but turn that on for you, and we will leave it running. And so nobody takes Nico. Locked up. So while I'm in Walmart, I'm also going to take a look at what oil would be if I just simply bought it off the shelf. And same oil filter that they'd probably give me at one of these oil change places. And we're going to compare those prices to maybe something at, you know, a local auto parts store as well. Hello, how are you doing? I want to see how much a oil change would be. Oh, okay, great. So high mileage is 4288.
Yeah.
And then does that include a filter as well?
Yes.
Oh, okay, gotcha. Is that 5 quarts or 6 quarts?
5.
That's 5 quarts. How much is one additional quart?
$5, $6, maybe.
$5, $6.
What kind of car? What kind of car?
It's a 1997 Toyota 4Runner. So it's 6 quarts.
Maybe 6.
Okay, so right off the bat, we can tell that Walmart is going to be way cheaper, almost half the price if you were to go to a big box like oil change place, you know, that you can find right down the road from your house. So this place is actually starts at, I think, $48 or $42, and then plus an additional quart with filter and everything should come to tax and everything right about $50 for a high mileage full synthetic oil changes. So let's go ahead and see some prices of some oil off the shelf, assuming we want to do it ourselves. So when shopping for oil, there's a lot of brands out there, and I have my own personal preferences, but which we're going to be looking for today is going to be a full synthetic, high mileage oil, kind of like the one that's right behind me right now. Now you can go with almost any brand, and most of the oils are going to be relatively the same for just regular day-to-day average commuting use, or maybe what your renters might be using the vehicle for. So no hot rodding or high-speed racing, so you don't need like a royal purple, you know, full synthetic racing oil. But with what we can tell right now on some of these prices, they're significantly cheaper. Now this is just for 5 quarts of oil. Now if you remember earlier, I said our vehicle takes 6 quarts of oil. So this is sometimes how they get you when you're looking at oil change prices, because if you're buying by 5 quarts, they're always going to be cheaper. So for this full synthetic, high mileage, this is the type of oil we need. It's $22.47 for 5 quarts, and looks like it's regularly $24.97. So about 25 bucks. Now we talked about brands, and brands can sometimes matter, but if we look right here, which is Super Tech, which is I believe Walmart's brand, it's actually pretty cheap. It's $19.28. It's backwards, but it's or $19.68 for that oil. Now the downside is that they don't have the weight of oil that we need for our vehicle. They only have 5W30, they have 10W30, and they actually don't have quite a lot of them, which means that, you know, it's going to be hard to find the exact type of oil if we want to get that $19 special. So we might have to go for a more expensive brand. So this is how a lot of places will actually end up getting you in some trouble when you're looking at doing your own oil change. So as we can tell, some of these single quarts of oils are like right up there at $8 a quart, or an additional $6 a quart. So if we look back over there, for 5 quarts of oil, you can get them for right around $25. That's still $5 a quart, and you're still looking at a $2 or $3 upcharge on one single quart just because you need 6 quarts of oil. As we can tell, it's gonna be pretty expensive. So I like using Motorcraft filters because they're manufactured by Ford, and I use them on a lot of our vehicles if they can take them. They're actually really well, you know, manufactured oil filter, and I actually like the performance of them. They never have any issues, and the quality is always really good. Now, if I were going to get the one for the 4Runner, which we would need, these are actually really cheap in Motorcraft because they're all made here in USA. Unfortunately, they don't have any. It's $3.97 per, which is actually a really good price. So because they don't have them, I'd have to look at getting a different brand of oil filter. So let me check that real quick. Well, that's where it'd be if it did have it. $9.97, and it's not there. Okay, we gotta try a different one. Now this is probably their top brand filter. Now we're not gonna be using their top brand filter, and I'm pretty sure most oil change places won't give us the top brand filters. So we're actually gonna go over here. We're gonna go to the cheaper one. So this is actually Fram, the brand. This is their most expensive filter. I don't really like Fram as a brand, but it seems like we don't have very many choices. Now, they're probably not gonna give us this more expensive filter at an oil change place. They're probably gonna give us a mid-grade to low-grade because they have to save costs on, you know, cost too. So we're gonna go down a step further, and we're gonna go to this one. This one's still $6.82. Now, what if we didn't go to this one? What if we went to the cheaper one? $3.88, but it's still the cheapest one that you can buy. Hi, dude. Hey, buddy. So it seems at Walmart, even if I wanted to save money and purchase my oil here, I could actually save some money. Price for 5 quarts of oil is relatively cheap. But the problem with that is that if you need that extra quart of oil, which we do in our case, it's going to end up charging an extra $2 or $3, and that kind of offsets the cost of how much it would be to just purchase 5 quarts of oil. Now, on top of that, the oil filters end up being 2 or 3 times the price than maybe what it would be if I just wanted the regular brand that I wanted, or maybe even getting a filter at a oil change place. So it's all the difference of saving a little bit of money on your own oil change and spending a lot of money on an oil change. Maybe we're just at the wrong place. Maybe going to a retail store that sells French bread, shoes, and a flat screen TV isn't the best place to get auto parts. Maybe we need to go to an auto parts store. Maybe we'll have better luck there when looking for oil. All right, so I'm here at my local auto parts store, and surely the prices have to be cheaper than Walmart. It's an auto parts store. It's what they sell. It's not looking good. High mileage 5W20, we're looking at $30.99, and even looking for the similar quart, it's $8.99. Okay, well maybe we're just not looking at the right ones. Let's take a look at like a Valvoline or something. This is where 5W30 would be, and it's $32. And this is a problem because if I wanted that one, it's gone. So the same one that was at Walmart for about $4 is $8.99 here, and they also don't have any. So unfortunately, it looks like these prices at a dedicated auto parts store are still a little too high for us to be cutting some of that cost down from getting our oil changed at a oil change place. We're home.
Greetings.
Go tell your mom about how expensive all this oil is. It's ridiculous. Go tell her. Go to your mama.
Hi.
It's like, no. And here's Aubrey. So our last comparison is going to be Amazon.com. This is a really useful tool when you're looking at finding the best prices for oil and really just anything you need like oil filters as well. Now this oil is not by any means not equivalent to some of those big name brands that you might see on store shelves. A lot of this stuff is actually manufactured at the same places that the big name brands actually manufacture their oil, just for Amazon. And these prices are ridiculous. And as you can see, they're $26 for 6 quarts of oil. That's exactly what I need for this vehicle, and it ends up coming up almost $10 to $15 cheaper than what other brands are in store or even at auto parts store.
Well, and the thing that's cool about Amazon that a lot of other stores don't do is Amazon does like these flash sales. Like randomly they'll mark things down significantly, and I don't know if it's because they need to get rid of stock or if it's like just their business strategy. I don't really know why they do it. But for example, I think the most recent time they did it was maybe 3 or 4 months ago.
Yeah, absolutely.
And we bought like hundreds of dollars worth of oil. Like what was the average price? Like 17, 18 bucks?
Yeah, easily.
For 5 quarts. And so it's quarts, right? Yeah, 5 quarts. Yeah. So it's way cheaper whenever you take advantage of like those ability to buy in bulk whenever it's on sale, and you just simply don't have that discount available to you whenever you look at these other stores, and of course not whenever you look at these oil changing shops either.
So as you can see, I am stocked full of oil, and they're not actually all Amazon basics. I do have a little bit of Pennzoil, and I do have a little bit of the Valvoline, because like Aubrey said, sometimes they just randomly go on sale, and that's like the best time to hop on it. Now, as you can see, at the current time, Amazon Basics is like the best deal for getting that 5W30 that we need for Aubrey's 4Runner. And I also buy a bunch of filters. Remember all these 910S that were out of stock in stores? They had a huge sale on them for 12 packs and even 6 packs. Now, will I need 6 oil filters? Maybe not all at one time, but I have enough vehicles that use this exact oil filter, so it makes, you know, changing my oil a breeze, and I don't have to worry about inventory.
HP and I often have the discussion of where can we cut costs, because there is this like fine line that like you don't want to cut costs to the point where like your cars are dangerous to drive. Like you can't stretch oil changes further and further apart. You can't last longer without changing your tires. You can't last longer without changing your brakes. These are the things that you have to do to keep your car's running and your car's running safely. But there is a point whenever like you've cut your costs with those types of things as much as you can, so where can you cut costs further? And by planning on how and where you buy your product is kind of like where you cut costs down to that next level. For HP and I, we spent so long just like running to Walmart, running to O'Reilly's anytime we needed an oil change. Whenever I was doing oil changes on my own, I would just go to Walmart 2-3 times a week whenever I would need to do an oil change. We never bought oil in bulk. And as a result, we are spending more on filters, we are spending more on oil, and we are spending our time going to Walmart as well. Like the ability to buy on Amazon, to buy in bulk with these cheap filters, cheap oil, and to be able to have them shipped to our house in bulk so that we have them when we need them, it has saved us probably realistically thousands of dollars.
A lot of money.
Over the last year.
A lot of money. And if a dummy like Aubrey can change oil too, so can you. Guys, as always, be sure to hit that like button, hit that subscribe, and hit that notification bell, and we'll see you in the next episode.